Pump it up, pump it up.
Trae.
Come on, come on.
With Trae.
Pump it up, pump it up.
It's the day with
This is the day to gain inspiration, to make a positive change in the nation. We're inviting you to partake in conversation, to raise your vibration. It's the day that we will all celebrate all of our peace that make this thing elevate. Watch the negative fade away, cause it's the day with Trae.
Grand Rising, everyone. Welcome to the Day with Trae. I'm your host, Trae Holiday. I have a terrific Tuesday in the works for y'all because one of my favorite elders is in the building, y'all. I get the opportunity to speak to Nana Kibibi Monié, the Executive Director of New Black Arts West Theater. We're going to be talking about some new classes that she has happening right there at Langston Hughes Performing Arts Institute. So excited for this drama series to happen. For those who are looking to really dive in to the professional world of theater. She's phenomenal. And so I'm so glad that we get to dive into these classes today. But first, I get to dive in with you, right? Because it is the top of the show. So this is the time where you get to tag and share this show right here with people who you feel could benefit from the daily dose of dopeness we work to give you here on The Day with Trae. And if you cannot watch our TV show, we still have you all covered, because you can listen to us also anywhere you find your favorite podcast. Just search Converge Media Network and The Day with Trae. We're on your favorite platform because there's like a lot of them. So shout out to our podcast team for making sure we're on all of them. And before I get into it with Nana Kibibi today, I just get the opportunity to talk a bit about the depth of theater we have here in the Pacific Northwest. Now, New Black Arts West Theater is really such a symbol of this. And I, as a young person, got to be on stage with one of their amazing productions back in the day. And it was called Deadwood Dick, The Legends of the West, or Them Niggas Went That Away. That was the whole title. Okay. And back then it was already remarkable because people were like, what is this? What am I coming to see? And Nana Kibibi has been somebody who's been a staple in our community when it comes to theater. But I will say that, when a lot of the schools have to change up their funding, we see a lot of our arts programs go away. So the need for classes like this happening in our community is paramount. There are a lot of kids who find themselves trying to figure out where to go and get these lessons. And we have some phenomenal pillars in our community, not only with New Black Arts West Theater, but also, of course, with Acts on Stage, right? So the beauty is that we have folks who've been doing this for decades, who have been pouring into community for decades. And now your children and young people in your life get the opportunity to learn from all of that expertise. But it's more than just learning, right? Because so much of the arts is finding yourself in the arts. You're not just being a character or replicating some type of characteristics that may happen in a play or, in a short film or whatever. You get to find yourself. And what I learned as a young person doing theater myself was there was always something from me that I got to bring out in a specific character. And that connection is what takes you from good to great. Understanding all of these fundamentals that exist in the world of arts is why you need expertise from those who've been doing it for a long time. But it also goes back to our history and our culture. This is something that has always been a part of us when it comes to storytelling. And that's really what we have here in the world of arts, is it's different ways to showcase amazing stories. And that's what I love so much about my experience as a young person in theater, in film, finding different ways to tell stories through characters and uplift the amazing resilience and vibrance that our people have, that legacy, getting to continue it. That was such a big part for me. And Nana Kibibi played a major role in that as an amazing mentor for me as a young person and even as an adult. So I just get to say that y'all are in for a treat, because up next, we got Nana Kibibi Monié in the building, y'all. Right after this short break, we're going to be diving into not only these new classes that she has at Langston Hughes, but also a bit of her history and why she decided to continue this now at Langston. You definitely don't want to miss it. Stay tuned. You're watching The Day with Trae.
Disney and Cameron Mackintosh's Mary Poppins comes to life on stage at the Fifth Avenue Theatre, featuring Step in Time and Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Make it a jolly holiday at Mary Poppins. For tickets, visit fifthavenue.org.
Washington's charter public schools prioritize equitable learning opportunities for all students and strive for openness at every level. Teachers work with parents to build a trusting and supportive learning environment for students. To learn more, visit wacharters.org.
Let's start the show.
Hello, welcome to Elite Insights with Carlos Imani. We're looking to offer an in-depth look at event production industry through the lens of client experiences and joint successes. The podcast will emphasize guest interviews, focusing on client discussing their fields and reflecting on their collaboration with Elite Collective. Again, you're with Elite Insights. Carlos Imani here. See you guys in a few.
Welcome back, y'all, to The Day with Trae. I'm your host, Trae Holiday. Joining me right now is Nana Kibibi Monié. Hi.
Hi, sweetie pie.
How are you?
Oh, I am so blessed. I'm too blessed to be stressed.
I know, that's right.
I'm so honored to be here with my girl. Ooh.
It's such a pleasure to have you. It's been a while.
Yes, it has.
And we changed up the set and everything. So,
Oh,
it's great because now we got these new chairs. I'm glad you got some, good,
Yeah.
you're looking real nice today.
High class.
Yeah,
You know
looking
what I'm
good.
saying? Shoot.
Well, this is really a pleasure for so many in community because, you have been such a staple when it comes to theater and, specifically uplifting Black stories. Why has that been so important in your career?
In my life,
Mm-hmm.
not just my career. It's something. I'm a project girl. I was raised, in the projects where families knew each other, would tell on each other. I'm gonna tell your mama, that kind of thing. That family love that you can get from a neighborhood, and it's just always been in me to teach others anything that I have learned.
Yeah.
you
I
know?
mean, I got to experience that because as the executive director, you did so much when it came to New Black Arts West Theater. I mean, you were directing shows, you were being a voice coach for so many when singing was involved. I mean, you really took on so many roles to produce shows here.
Mhm.
How was that for you in terms of pouring into community in that
I
way?
love that. That's what I've always done. I got to take it back to the terrace only because when I looked in on the TV and I saw Judy Garland playing, what's her name? Wizard of Oz,
Okay, yeah. Dorothy.
Dorothy. I said, I want to do that. That's what I want to be when I was a little girl. So I have always been an actress. I'd be the horse if I watched Gene Autry, and I mean, I'd go in my room, being an only child. I would, go in my room and spend hours of pretending and becoming something other than a little girl. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
And I wanted the world to have that at their disposal. So,
Yeah, it's
I
done
was
it.
born to be a teacher and in the arts,
Yeah.
and I knew it when I was a kid.
Well, you've always talked about the importance of being led by, a higher power, by the creator, and
Oh,
how that was
absolutely.
always a guiding factor for you
Right.
in projects you would produce, in the things that you would do.
Mhm.
And I know that that's carried through and through, but tell us a bit about why that was so prominent for
Because
you.
I was so curious as a child, being an only child. I was curious about who was who, what was what. Like, for instance, I went to the library and I looked to see who were the inventors that were Black, who were the actors that were Black, who was, who's who. And I saw that inventions, a lot of what I'm getting ready to tell you is part of my program, the Summer Youth Education Program. This past week, 6 weeks ago, we taught a class free to our community. I've always been a pretender and a storyteller, and I've always wanted my career to be teaching my babies through the arts. You know how to pretend that you're a queen or a king and become it as in that moment. Did I answer your question? Because I got kind of off track a little bit.
I was saying that you always talk about being guided by the Creator and how that's been so important, because like you're like, hey, I was born to do this, right?
Yeah.
But getting young people to understand their brilliance is something I got to experience you being very great at. Was bringing it out in people as a director. And you have a particular way of doing it where people, they know when they've gone through the Nana Kibibi message.
That's so true.
Because you're like, look, I'm going to be hard on you right now, but it's to get you to that next level.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But you've seen so many people come through your expertise and be able to get there. So you've seen people start here and get there.
Go, like I said, seeing Judy Garland. When I would go into my room from anything, I would Roy Rogers and Dale Evans, or if I saw a tree coming through the earth, I would go in my room because I was an only child and pretend to be all those things, not just the actors, the singers, because I was blessed, with a voice as well. But for instance, I'll give you a for instance. I heard Morgan Freeman, saw him on a program that used to come on. And he was explaining the mighty oak and him explaining how it grew and how it came out of the soil and how it rose up to the heavens, and how if you looked at that man, he was standing there just as straight. But when you listened to what he was saying and went on that trip with him, you became that tree. You saw that tree. And he never even rose his arms up to emulate a tree, but through his voice, through his mind from probably forever pretending to be, he became.
Wow.
And that's what I want my community, my people, to get real good at doing, is becoming. Be that. Don't be the negative, be the positive.
Yeah.
And through the arts, that's been my savior.
Wow.
God has, when I said, I want to do that, and that's all I have ever done my life is in the arts, period. I've been blessed to be what I asked God to, pick me to be.
Yeah.
Because through that, I can teach others. I can teach others God. I can teach others how to become happy or sad even. There's a lot of kids that don't know, they don't have an opportunity to play with what is inside them. Anyway, I'm just here to help use the arts as a way of teaching our children how to think and act and be.
Yeah.
Become it in your mind.
That's a really great lesson though too, because I think when you're working to not only produce something that's theatrical or artistic based, but in life.
Yes.
I mean, so that's why we talk about arts really mimicking life, and those life lessons come through. I know you have it in your summer youth program, and now you have these amazing drama classes at Langston Hughes Performing Arts Institute. And it's great to see this, because these are classes happening in the evenings for young folks, for them to really understand the pillars of professional theater. Tell us a bit more about what you're offering during these classes.
Offer you to come out of your shell, writing, the poetry, the things, like I said, that are in you, that, make you who you are. And like back to that pretending again, and becoming what you say you are, becoming a chair, if you are a chair. You know what I'm saying? You hold your arms. I mean, I love watching children pretend because they become it. They don't just, emulate it. They would contort their body to be that, whatever it is. They'll change their voice to be that. And pretending opens up a world. I mean, you can't get caught up in it and lose, reality, but pretending prepares you for life. Pretending, Now I'm not saying do it on the slick side.
Yeah.
I'm just saying feel what others can feel. Pretend to be blind and walk through a house and feel your way through and memorize in your mind how you have to go through that.
Wow.
Pretending is important. It's important.
I really love that, what you just said there about pretending. It's interesting too, because as we get older, right, we have more life experiences and we forget the imagination piece
That's right.
of us, right?
That's right.
Even generations change over time. We would just, me and my siblings, we just go outside and play, right? Which was like, we would just make up a game.
Yes.
We would just make up a game with kids from the neighborhood. And that was so fun because it was like our own rules. We just made it up,
Right.
right?
Right.
Nowadays, I think there's a lot of too much structured play. So like kids are on video games, the rules are already baked in.
And negative structures too.
Yeah,
Let's
negative
not leave that out. That those games that they can play on their phones now they're stimulating their minds, but they're stimulating them in negative ways.
Yeah.
In my opinion. Excuse me for cutting you off. Go ahead and say what you
No,
say.
I mean, that's very important too, because I was going to get to it, because that's a part of it where what you're offering is something that allows them not only tap into that imaginative side of them, but the wisdom of our elders, which you have been so keen about. You told me once, I didn't learn all these lessons to keep them to myself.
That's right.
Right.
Absolutely.
When I was asking about why do you keep giving to community the way you have?
That's what I'm here for.
Yeah.
That's my duty. And I'm so glad the Creator chose me to be one of the leaders, one of the positive leaders, that is quite a reward to me.
Yeah.
I almost, and I say this all the time, but I really do believe when God asked the children in heaven, which one of y'all want to go next? I was one of the first ones to say, me, because I had things to teach. I had love to give. I had wisdom to give my people. And that's been my whole reason for living, is because of the duty that I got from the Creator.
Well, I'll say, you're not only a phenomenal performer, I've seen you embody a character like no other. I mean, you go there and you go all the way there.
All the way,
you go
yes.
all the way there.
Yes.
Like a method actor almost. I mean, you really get into it, but also a phenomenal writer. I mean, you've written works of art that then have hit major stages. Tell us about that writing side and how that's so important in the field of arts and creativity.
That's a good question. Wow. You just kept going on and on with it. It wasn't a little video question. It was let me think about that. My writing, I've been doing that all my life as well. I wrote my first and directed my first play when I was 9.
Wow.
Had an audience and, all the actors I was born to be. I'm with a group called AWA. That's the African American Writers Alliance, AWA. And they have brought me back to writing. I was a writer when I was a kid, like I said, started at 9. So I've written things and things that have been performed, all the way through the churches, that I went to and blah, blah, blah. But with AWA, I'm finding myself homing in on emotions and feelings and messages. Like I said, I wanted to know what we had done in our community, what we had done for mankind. And I went to the library and I looked and found the inventor section, and I found the black section of the inventors. And I said, what would you mean? The pencil sharpener, the ironing board, the rotary, elevators. I went on and on and on and on about our inventions. And since hip hop was so, into what was happening, I said, if I give my children this knowledge through hip hop and through, you have to do it together. Even ham bone I put in it, giving it rhythm. you know?
Ah.
So, but I wanted them to learn the lessons of the inventions. Excuse me, y'all, my name is Lynn. Do you know who invented the fountain pen? William B. Purvis. I was born a Leo. That makes me a lion. I'm glad I got an iron boy so I can iron. Sarah Boone. When God gave me those words, that's what really spurred me back to wanting to write. Because like I said, I was writing when I was a kid. And I've written plays even when I was a child. But being an adult and having lived life, oh, I've got stories to tell and stories to pass back or on to the children so they don't have to necessarily go through some of the madness that they have to go through. So they can know the odds that are against them and the odds that are for them. And through the arts, I've been able to do that well. That's what makes me so happy with God, that I was chosen. I was chosen, even though I was the one to me, raising my hand and said, I want to go next. To be what I wanted to be. And I've been, supported in that. From movies I've been in, praise be, from having August Wilson on my board of advisors, to Ben Vereen doing a special presentation for us at no cost, just because we were honoring him, to have Ruby Dee on my board of advisors and helping us and supporting us and giving us her talent even. She was performing here at the, come on, Brian, I think it was ACT, may have been ACT, one of the theaters down here, and she was wondering, okay, where the black people at? Where my people? And I said, well, sometimes the mountain has to go to the people of Muhammad, however the little saying goes. Sometimes it's got to be reversed and you got to go to them, because there are places that we don't feel as comfortable as we would, coming to the community. She, out of the grace of her heart, came and did the show, actually. I wasn't expecting this. I just invited her to come. She said, where they at? I said, come on. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't expecting her to come, but when she came, the community knew Ruby Dee was going to come just to meet her. We had no idea she was going to do her show.
Wow.
We got a limousine for her to come in. Girl, we treating our queen. What? She coming up first class, okay? She came in there, she did her show, and to see the delight and how proud Black people were being in our queen's presence. And she's ain't charging a dime, having the fun, just kick back, doing her show.
Wow.
That's what the Creator has done for me. He's allowed me to meet all these people and others that I haven't, like Dr. Maxine Mims. Ooh, she was my professor, as you know. And boy, she taught me a lot. She helped me a lot. She was my anchor. Anyway, I'm so glad that I was raised and chosen to be a leader in my community. Never left it. Went to New York and went to the New York Film Academy. Went to Georgia and checked it out, kind of sort of for a few weeks in Georgia. But anyway, I've always come out to come back and bring it back home. That's been important to me.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm so blessed because we've been able to experience that it's important to you, because you continue to be a beacon. And that's the beauty of it, is that it's so far beyond what you could explain, because everyone experiences it. You just gave amazing words at the Africatown Plaza groundbreaking and opening, grand opening. And it was so beautiful to hear people go, my goodness, I mean, she still is lighting these stages up on fire to this day. And the idea that it's so in you that you can pull that out at any given time still is a blessing. So anyone coming to your classes is definitely blessed. And these classes are happening on the weekdays. What are the details there? It's at 6 p.m.
Wednesdays at 6 o'clock.
Okay, right there.
And it's an hour and a half.
Okay.
Just an hour and a half. Yeah.
Wow.
I'm looking forward to, really delving deep into that, because I'll be doing it more regularly than I usually do it. Our summer youth education program, I used to do it for 6 weeks. It was only 6 weeks. It was not. But this I'm looking forward to.
Yeah.
I want to help create the next Denzels,
There
and
we
the next,
go.
Ruby Dees, and you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so-
Well, you brought up Dr. Maxine Mims, and I know you have a bit of a piece here that you want to share with us that you also wrote.
Yes, I did.
Really about her, kind of a tribute to her.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm going to
it
give you
is.
time. You're going to like perform it right there in that camera so everyone watching can feel you.
Okay. October 8th, 1948. That's the year of my birth. It is October the 13th, 5 days after my birth, and 5 days of my mentor's death. Dr. Maxine Mims. A day I'll never, ever, 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 ever forget. Although it's such an honor and tribute to our everlasting friendship, you could say kinship in a profound way. I sit here before you in tears thinking of my queen in honor and knowing that my queen loved us. In gratitude of you, my queen, your strength is forever delved deep in my soul. My tears salute you for loving and being our beloved queen. Rest in peace, knowing that you are loved, honored, and missed. Yeah.
Wow.
That's what I wrote. I had to get it out. I've been doing it in silence. I haven't called anybody other than my children to say that she has passed. I've had people calling me to tell me. But I've been quiet. It's made me still. It's made me contemplate how much longer I will be privileged as she was to give life through her leadership.
Yeah.
So that's my goal, to give life through my leadership.
Well, you're doing a phenomenal job. I can tell you that.
Thank God.
Thank you so much
You are so
for being
welcome,
with me
baby.
today and for continuing to pour in to community the way you do.
Yeah.
It's truly an honor.
My last breath, that's what I'll be doing. That's what I
right.
was put on this community and on this earth for.
Wow. Nana Kibibi, y'all. Wow.
Thank you.
Y'all, I get to wrap all of this up because I'm totally inspired. We'll wrap it all up right after this short break. Stay tuned. You're watching The Day with Trae.
Disney and Cameron McIntosh's Mary Poppins comes to life on stage at the Fifth Avenue Theatre, featuring Step in Time and Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Make it a jolly holiday at Mary Poppins. For tickets, visit fifthavenue.org.
Big Tobacco thinks they know everything. They think they know you, your community, the places you go, and the way that you spend your time. They think they got you all figured out, down to a formula, a calculation based off of numbers of what they think they know. Show them they're wrong. Learn more at theythinktheyknowyou.org.
A world of wonder awaits at Pacific Northwest Ballet's The Nutcracker. Treat your loved ones to the Northwest's favorite holiday tradition at Seattle Center's McCall Hall. Visit pnb.org.
Welcome back, y'all, to The Day with Trae. I'm your host, Trae Holiday. Huge thank you to my guest today, Nana Kibibi Monié, the Executive Director of New Black Arts West Theater. And honestly such an amazing, phenomenal pillar in our community. Now, what you heard was just a glimpse of her story and why it's so important for folks to tap in to these amazing classes that are being offered on Wednesday nights at Langston Hughes Performing Arts Institute at 6 p.m. as she is continuing to pour into the community in such a profound way. And when I talk about inspiration, y'all, it really doesn't get any better than to have one of my mentors and a beloved elder from me and our community here on the Day with Trae to share why they continue to do it, what's important to them, what they want to see, and why they continue to pour into the next generation. You know, this is what community is really about. And when you have elders in your community who exemplify that in their daily lives, you know, it's a real gift for us in community. And one of the things that we have to recognize is that gift now. Like, not when someone has passed, oh, they were so wonderful. No, if they're wonderful, you tell them today. You let them know now. You know, they talk about giving a person their flowers now, but it goes beyond that because it's also about genuine connection, spending genuine time, having real conversations where you get to actually learn from the breadth of their brilliance and wisdom. And trust me, I'm one who dives in all the time. So I'm telling you from my own personal experiences with amazing community elders, just like Nana, who have really said, look, no, I make time and space for you because it's important for me to pass these lessons on to you. It's important for my people that they understand what I now know as an elder. And when we talk about distinguished elders, we're really talking about folks who understand that calling as they age in their lives, that there's always ways to constantly contribute. So y'all know I want you to be inspired because in the ways that you can contribute now and in the future, always keep in mind how your wisdom can benefit someone else, how your knowledge, your expertise, your lived experience can be a pillar for someone else. Never underestimate the power of your contributions to community. Thanks so much for watching today. Y'all know I'll be back with you tomorrow. And until then, at 11 a.m., y'all, peace.
Converge Media produces culturally relevant content for Black and urban audiences. Our coverage is raw, transparent, and objective, praised by community leaders, government officials, and residents. Support Converge Media today via Venmo, Cash App, or PayPal at Converge Media.